Hello Year 9, this is the third session in Advanced Algebra for NAPLAN. We have a pattern here, and using this pattern, what is the value of 98 squared? Let's have a look at this pattern closely. Do you notice that all the numbers on the left hand side here are squared? 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared, 6 squared. And ultimately, we're going to be looking for 98 squared. And do you notice that the first number on the right-hand side is 2 less than the number that is squared on the left-hand side? 1 is 2 less than 3. 2 is 2 less than 4. 3 is 2 less than 5. So we can assume that the number here will be 2 less than 98, which will be 96. And this will be multiplied by a number that is 2 more than the one on the left-hand side. 3 plus 2 is 5. 4 plus 2 is 6. 5 plus 2 is 7. 6 plus 2 is 8. So this number will be, in that case, 98 plus 2, which means it'll be 100. And this will be added to a number that is pretty constant. It's just 4. The question that we're asked is, what is the value of this? So we're not just looking at what the pattern is, but what is the value of this? So we can calculate this without using a calculator, because we know that 96 multiplied by 100 is 9,600. And if we now add the 4 to it, it'll be 9,604. So we'll write the answer in here as 9604. The graph of y is equal to 3 minus 2x is going to be drawn on this grid. This grid here I've magnified so we can look at it more clearly. And through which 2 points will the line pass? PQ, that means there, will the line pass through those 2 points? Will it pass from P to S? Will it pass from Q to R? Or will it pass from Q to S? I have the equation here again. Now this can be done exceptionally easy if you know what to look for. This is an equation of a line of the form y is equal to mx plus c, or maybe you do mx plus b. And you'll know that this equation represents the slope and the y-coordinate, where it passes the y-axis. So m stands for the slope, and c stands for the point in which the line crosses the y-axis. So we call it the y-coordinate. Here m is the coefficient of x. So the coefficient of x here is minus 2. And the y-coordinate is therefore going to be 3. So remember, the y-coordinate is the coordinate of the number on the y-axis. And that would be 3 here. So I'll color it 3. In fact, I'll color it in red so that it's more pronounced. Now there it is. So this point must be on the graph. Now this point, if we're going to draw a line, this point will fit in a line between P and S. It is not in line with P and Q, and it is not in line with P and R. It's in line with P and S. And if we want more evidence of that, I'll just draw the line here, we can now look at the slope. The slope is minus 2. That means it will be minus 1 and up 2. Minus 1 and up 2. this line must go through the points PS. So I'll highlight C and that will be PS. The more prolonged way of doing this is by locating each point P, Q, R and S and substituting it into this equation and seeing if these points hold true for that particular equation. And if they don't, then you discard those 2 points, and if they do, then these are the points that will go through the line. I will not go through this method, but I'll just write out the points so that if you want to do this, you can work this on your own. So now you can just substitute these points into this equation here and see if it holds true. The rule to change temperatures in degrees Celsius to temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit is here. And the maximum temperature today is 35 Celsius. What is this in degrees Fahrenheit? So we're going to just substitute the C in here, which is Celsius, for 35 and work out the value of F. Since we know that we have to do the multiplication first, I'll put brackets around over here. We should work out what 9/5 times 35 is. The easiest thing to do would be to take 35 and divide it by 5 and then multiply it by 9. How many 5s go into 35? 7. And how many 5s go into 5? Just 1. And this helps us to do the multiplication because we don't have to do big multiplications. So now we just want to know what 9 times 7 is. Plus we're going to add 32 to that. And this should equal to 95. And so just write this down in here, 95. We don't have to write Fahrenheit, it's already written there for us. It is known that 3/4 is greater than 2/x, where x is a positive whole number. Make sure you get the fact that it is a whole number. That's important. So what is the smallest possible value of x? So this sign here will not change if we cross multiply. After cross multiplying, we get 3x greater than 2 times 4, which is 3x is greater than 8. We want to know what is the value of x. So we'll divide both sides by 3. The 3 is going to cancel out, and we'll get that x is greater than 8 on 3. Now we want the possible values of x that is a whole number. Let's have a look what 8 on 3 is as a mixed number. 8 on 3 is going to be the same thing as 2 lots of 3's will go in there plus 2/3. So we could say that x is greater than 2 and 2/3. Now, if x is greater than 2 and 2/3, because we want a whole number, then the number needs to be more than 2 and 2/3. The whole number after 2 is 3, so therefore x must be greater than 3. So our value in here must be 3. You could ask yourself, what is bigger than 2 and 2/3? After 2 and 2/3 comes in 3. 3 is bigger than 2 and 2/3. So if x is 3, I could write that down, that 3 is greater than 2 and 2/3. You can see that now 3 is greater than 2 and 2/3. Of course, there are greater numbers than 2 and 2/3, such as 4, 5, 6, but we want the smallest possible value of x. So which expression is equivalent to x squared on 3 plus 2x squared on 3? Since this expression has both 3 and 3 in the denominator, we could easily write it as x squared plus 2x squared over 3. If you consider that x squared is the same thing as saying 1x squared, then 1 plus 2 will mean that there are 3x squareds. So we have 3x squared on 3. The 3 can easily be cancelled out. You're left only with x squared, which means that our answer is A.